I hope my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So there is some remaining part yesterday which I could not discuss. So I thought that at least we can complete first that and then we'll start and proceed accordingly. So we were discussing yesterday that importance of IP addresses and then the vital role played by the DNS, domain name system. So here it is the description of the domain name system. So domain name server are the just like working as a phone books of the internet. So they maintain the directories that match IP addresses with the registered domains and resolve the text that people understand, the domain name into a format that device understand, that is IP address. So for your and my understanding, it is google.com. For the device which used to connect that google.com, it needs and require a IP address that is 8.8.8 or 8.8.4.4 because Google has two IP addresses available with they're registered with their domain name system. So nowadays IP address is why it is needed, because if we are going or uh, try to get the information about the what kind of emails and what kind of uh, stuff we are receiving, so there are few things terminology which we need to understand. That is, one is spoofing, and the more and more cyber fraud is conducting or organizing in using this kind of tools and technology. One is spoofing, one is masking, and one is redirecting. So the spoofing, masking, and redirecting is an advanced method to obscuring the action of the internet, including hiding the IP addresses. Because even the cyber criminal are also aware of that through IP address they will be tracked, they will be traced by the law enforcement agency, and these methods are commonly referred as a masking, spoofing, and redirecting. So advanced training is required to investigate the identify when the action has taken place. Therefore, even after completion of the legal process, the traditional investigation method will still be necessary to identify by the end user. And in some cases, masking, spoofing, or redirecting may prevent the identification of the user. Suppose if I'm taking example, what is IP masking? Is one mask on the IP address, because nowadays what is Google is doing? Google, you know that you have one Gmail ID. It is associated with you, maybe your personal Gmail ID or your official Gmail ID, but it is associated with one IP address. So Google is also masking, put a mask on your email. So once you send to email to someone, so directly even the cyber criminals could not get the IP address of your native place or your ISP. So they could not cheat you. So just prevent, this is a one level of security which is Google itself is providing nowadays. Earlier it was not providing, but now Google is also masking the IP addresses with the help of email header. Directly one cannot access or diagnose the IP address of the concerned mail which somebody received at their end, whether it is a so one cannot get the IP address of the senders. Another technique is spoofing. See, spoofing is a method of impersonating another's system's IP address. Means spoofing we called in Hindi, we can say we can understand हो कुछ और दिखे कुछ और, means you are a Ramlal, Mr. X, but you are pretending that you are Mr. Y. So you are mentioning the IP address or showing the displaying the IP address of Mr. Y. Actually, you are Mr. X. So that is this technique is spoofing. There are lots of paid and freeware also available in the internet as far as spoofing is concerned. If you can get an idea of here, I'm sure my Google screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So if you put here So call spoofing. So spoofing is a method to hiding someone's identity. If it will be a call spoofing, so it will hide the sender's mobile number. If it is a email spoofing, it will hide the sender's IP address and the sender's mail address. Means actual sender is different, but sender could be able to show you the email address which he or she wish to disclose or display on your receiving end. So if we can take an example of the best spoofing apps in 2014. So there are paid and freeware also available for spoofing purpose. Means one can make a call and they can hide their identity once you download this. Uh, One is also app related to which show the fake GPS location, and then somebody send you their GPS location and claiming that they are actually calling, because nowadays it is very common phenomena. Once you get the mobile number, if somebody is claiming and he is calling from Pune or Mumbai or Maharashtra or Tamil Nadu or Andhra Pradesh, then naturally you may ask, could you please able to send me your geolocation or your current location? So there are software through which they can create a fake location and send you the fake GPS location to get your to win their confidence or to get you in their confuse you. So there are software available through which you can even send the fake GPS location also. So call spoofing software available. So one software I knew that bluffmycall.com or crazycall.com, you can easily find out through which one can crazy call talk app. So the crazy call, so this is the app through which you can make a call and you can hide your identity. It's a freeware. See, now your questions or your doubt may be if it is illegal and then cyber fraudsters are using this kind of techniques, then why it is available freeware on the Google? So let me explain you yourself. So all the technology which is using by the cyber criminal or cyber fraudsters, these technology are using by one or another reason. So this kind of spoofing call apps in the Western country, they develop just for making a prank calls. Prank calls means just a little bit of, we can say, to rag someone or to make someone fool in a very light mode. So they used to call that I am calling from Washington DC or I am calling from the president house, and so even the number is also showing the same. So the people you get shocked, and this was using by this only for light entertainment. But the same app is now using by the cyber criminals for their ill intentions. Like the cyber criminals are using one thing that is something called remote access applications. So remote access applications is used by the various corporate and companies since so long to get or to give the technical online support to their valued customers or clients. So they usually, so there are few. Earlier it was TeamViewer, then after that few more AnyDesk and Android. These are the remote access apps available. These are also freeware. Why we are using AnyDesk? Because if suppose I am just bringing new laptop, my vendors is installing all the necessary softwares. And suppose if this laptop is I am bringing from Bengaluru, now I am coming to Madhya Pradesh, MP. Still, I need some kind of technical help and technical requirement in my laptop. So instead of going travel to Bengaluru, I just connect with my vendors or the service provider through that any desk, and from then and there he or she will be able to solve my problem, because remote access applications are used to give the remotely access to your device to someone else who is far from your place. But once you connected them and you give them a number to connect that app, now the all the control will goes to them, and they may also see in your screen, they may also operate your mouse pointer, and they usually solve your problem. So this was the sole purpose of these remote access applications. So nowadays it is commonly means in most of the cases in the cyber frauds, especially in the financial fraud, the cyber fraudsters are using this kind of remote access apps, whereby they are just claiming that they are calling from a customer care of so and so company, and your parcel in is in the on the way, and if you are ready, or if you wish that you yourself can identify or find out the geolocation or location of your parcel uh, from it is deported. So likewise they are claiming like this, and then they insist you to install this remote access app and ask you for a number, and once you give them a number after installing that app, your device is compromised. Your device may be a handheld device, maybe a laptop, it will be, the whole control will be goes to them also. So they are also able to see your all your windows, all your screens, all your passwords, all the messages which is coming or dropping on that device. But they could not show you, and they could not tell you that this is why they installed or they insist you to install this app. Now they are insisting you to make a or 4 rupees or 3 rupees uh, transaction in their account. Once you did this, they may see what password is you are putting to access your uh, the wallet, or any kind of UPI payment is you are doing through GPay, through Google Pay, or Phone Pay, or any other medium, that you are not knowing that, but they are also seeing your window, they are also seeing your, and you may be surprised that you could not tell them an OTP, even neither the password, but then also your money will be deducted from your account, and then you rush to the local police stations or local law enforcement agency that you made a fraud, and then you explain that how you make a call to a customer care of so and so company, which the number which you have searched from the Google itself, but unfortunately you may connect it to one fraudster, and then the fraudster insists you to do this process. So again question is that if this much of cheating is doing, why the government is not uh, banning this kind of or blocking this kind of remote access applications? See, these applications are a boon for the software companies and from the companies who are providing various services throughout the globe. So this is necessary for them. So this is a boon, this is a facility, but now this boon converted into curse by these criminals. Likewise the spoofing also, because once it is started for the only light comedy, or we can say light entertainment for a prank calls, but nowadays spoofing software is using by this cyber criminals, whether it is email spoofing or call spoofing, to cheat common people. So I am coming again my presentation. Uh, is it visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So now you got the meaning of the spoofing. The method is impersonating another system IP address. If you are so the system that Google itself is also having mask, but once you get the spoof email, so there are ways through which you can identify whether it is a phishing email or not, which we will discuss. Another thing is that redirecting. IP redirecting is the method of forwarding or routing internet traffic to an obscure IP address. Means you are first connected to the person, but unfortunately you are redirected to another way or another IP address. So this is also one method through which you can they can redirect you to another website or another portal which seems look like the same authentic portal, maybe a SBI website, maybe a life insurance LIC website, or ICICI Bank website, or IDBI Bank site. Look like the homepage will same look like the it is belongs to that particular bank or the life insurance company. But this is a fishy page, or this is a fake page. So this is also going on. Now we can take a, how come we know that about that the we are getting so much of offer from so much of websites, so much offer from different portals. They are claiming that we are dealing in this, we are dealing in this, maybe a service provider, maybe a, uh, corporate support, sometime for job purpose also. Maybe they claiming they are sending, pushing this mail from repute institutions. So we can have a one situation. Suppose if I am getting email, or we can say that any message from or any website, which I need to know whether this website is authentic or not, how old this website, when it was registered, what is its local address, or the country which they are claiming belongs to, actually they are belongs to that country or not. So suppose I can take, because this is a very famous website, facebook.com. Suppose I got this facebook.com to be identify whether it is authentic one or not. So what would be the course of actions, steps I need to step in? So step one, first, to resolve the domain name. The first step to resolve the domain name of the facebook.com to an IP address, because this is for your and my understanding facebook.com, but I do not know what is the IP address of that. So through IP address, I can identify and I can diagnose that whether that given website is authentic one or not. So the many commercial software tools are available to assist the investigator to resolving the domain name into IP address, which will convert the domain name into an IP address. So domain name is www.cyberfacebook.com, but I need the IP address of that. So some commonly used websites including www.networks-tools.com, http whoisdomaintools.com, and http www.whois.apnic.net. There are few things. So we can take, suppose if second one I can take. So I need to go here, whoisdomaintools.com. So instead of that presentation, we can directly go to here. So whoisdomaintools.com. So whois lookup, the first website I got, I can click on that. Now it required the, now it required the website, desired website, for which we need the convert into the IP address, the domain name. So domain name is www.facebook.com. So this is my desired website, or the website to which I used to wish to convert into a IP address, and I can click on the search button. Now This websites give me a whole information related to that particular domain. So the registrar staff LLC LANA ID, that URL of www.registrarsafe.com, that who is server. Now here I get the detail of that IP address. This is the IP address of facebook.com, that is 157.240.3.35, and it will also give me a date, how old. So this is 10,020 days old domain, means created in the year 1997. Here it is mentioned created on 29th March 1997, facebook.com, and it is registered till 30th March 2033, and in between it was updated in 24th April 2024. So last April they have updated, means they have renewed that domain. Now it will be again remain till 2023, March 30th, March 2023. And when that started, so it will give me a complete picture whether this institution is belongs to, how old that institutions, and very importantly, I will get the IP address of that company also. Then the other information. So history also, IP address 514 changes on 514 unique IP address in 20 years. In last 20 years, they have made 514 different the changes in their unique IP addresses. Now the IP address location also, it is mentioned Washington, Seattle, Facebook, means this particular companies belong to Washington. This is their IP address. This is their domain name, when that registered, when it will be expired, and when they have updated last time. So suppose a company is mailing you, claiming you, but they are failed to give you information about themselves, and they are hiding the information. So from this, this domain tools, you can get the information about any institution, any organization whose website is known to you, and then you can place their website, their domain name, and convert it into IP address, and it will give you complete information when they registered this domain name. If suppose if institution organization claiming that they are working more than 1 decade, but their domain name is showing that last 3 years back they started, so you may get easily picture of that, that this is not they're not the old players, they are just the recent one, and then there are the freshers or new ones that actually dealing in this field. So this, through this you can get the information. Are you my screen is visible to you, I hope, and am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I hope, again for your reference, I can again do the process once again. So you can also just go to the Google, type whoisdomaintools.com, then who is lookup domain availability, then you click here, you will get this interface, who is lookup, and you can enter the domain name. Even you can also search. Suppose if I wish to search about the google.com, so I know that google.com IP address. So whether you supposed to enter the domain name, the name of the website, or even the directly IP address. Suppose I know the IP address. So 8.8.8.8, this is the IP address of google.com. I entered and I search. Again, it came to me that IP location is United States, Yemen, Google. Then Google US, registered on 30th March 2000. Again, 24 years back. So this will give me a complete picture that this domain of this portal is 24th year older, and IP address is also showing. Then 14,570 website use this address. So means they are linked with the, and they have the other related information also, that organization name Google, then their city Mountain View, then their address is also available here, 1600 Theater Parkway. So you can also get the, and even that the email ID also, the organization technical email also, ARIN hyphen contact@google.com. Even the telephone number is also mentioning here, +1 650 253 -0000. So through which you can get the information. Either you can know the IP address. We can also search the another IP address of google.com. So yesterday we saw 8.8.4.4. We press search. The same information, because both the domains related to the same company, United States Mountain View Google, then registered on 30th March 2000, the same company. So likewise, you can get the information about the institution, and this is something called the part of ethical hacking. That is why it is not unethical. Each and everything which is available on the cyberspace for public, this is, you are just getting the information which is public, because this information is already public by the Google itself. So you are nothing doing the hacking or something. This is something called ethical way to get the information. You are just getting the information, get the more detail of any organization. So this is not, some may be thinking that is this illegal or illegal. We are just getting this kind of information. This is completely legal, and I am also giving you the things or the tools and techniques which is legal by the law, because I am also working with the law enforcement agency and associate with them since so long. So I could not do anything. Even in some cyber forensic courses and technical courses, if few things we used to tell, first we used to give the disclaimer that this is only for the education purpose we are showing you. Neither the organizer who is organizing this webinar or workshop, and nor the speaker will be responsible if you are using in the ill with these tools with the ill intentions. So only for educational purpose we are telling you and giving you the information about the things. Otherwise, somebody may got cheated, or the culprit will be behind the bar, and they may say that I have attended so and so webinar of so and so professor organized by so and so organization. So it will be not good for both the persons, both the parties, neither the organization nor the resource person. So, but what I am right now telling you, it is completely ethical. You can get this kind of, use this kind of tools to get more and more information about any organization through a domain name or through a IP address. It's up to you. Whosoever is available with you. This we already get this kind of information. Now, the registration information of Facebook.com has resolved to the IP address. Now we got that what is the IP address of Facebook, that is 157.240.3.35. The typical information provides includes what kind of information this who is domain tool which provide us. Registration, registered owner, name and address. That this organization is registered with which name it is registered and what is their postal address. The billing information means the domain billing information, when they have registered, till up to which year they have registered, and when will they will be expiring the domain. Administrative contact also, I told you, I have given you information. The official email and the official postal address will be also providing. The range of the IP addresses associated with the domain. The other IP address also they will provide that which will be associated. Because suppose if google.com or facebook.com, they have more than 5 to 7 IP addresses. 5 to 12 IP addresses associated with the different things, but all belongs to the facebook.com. So the other IP address associated with the domain will be, domain means the company name, will be also find out, fetch, and the technical contact information, their server, and then server name also, DNS also will be disclosed in this information. So you can get enough information to get the company's history, their belonging, city, their country, their postal address, their email, official email address, and their even the phone numbers also. Now these are the, now we are shifting to the step 3. Now once we got the name of the domain, then we just converted this domain name into an IP address. Then we got the information of that company organization. The third step is to determine the appropriate parties to contact or serve a legal process depending on the facts of the investigation. So this is the simple process the investigating agency is also doing. Once they got that IP address, naturally their course of action will be now on the, with the help of IP address, they will also contact the internet service provider, and they may ask that with using this IP address, which ISP was used, means meanwhile this IP address is using which internet connection, means which company is providing the internet services to that particular IP address, and accordingly they will find out the ISP, the internet service provider. And what will the other course of action? Naturally they will issue a notice under the 91 CRPC to the intermediary, this time the ISP, the internet service provider, to give the detail of that particular company which IP address is using through his internet service. Then what kind of documents the company provided meanwhile getting that internet connection to the ISP, and what kind of documents submitted on behalf of that. Photo identity proof, maybe Aadhaar card, maybe a PAN card, maybe a voter ID card, maybe a driving license, and even the associate mobile number also. And once we get the associated mobile number of that domain, we will proceed with the step 4 with the telecom service provider. This time the intermediary will be telecom service provider, and we will request and issue a notice under the 91 CRPC to, we will means the law enforcement agency, the investigating agency, and we'll get the information of that mobile number, that this mobile number is used by, who is using that mobile number, and in which place they are using, which state they are using. And meanwhile at the time of issuing that subscriber identity module for a particular number, what kind of document submitted by the applicant. So we will simply ask 2 things to the service provider, to the telecom service provider. Once we will be in the investigation process, we ask the CDR of that 6-month CDR or 1 year CDR of that mobile number that the person was contacted with various parties last 6 months, since last 6 months, and the CAF, the customer application form, which will again tell us that what kind of document he or she has submitted to get this mobile subscriber identity, that is SIM card. So on the basis of these documents, we can get the legal or local address of that culprit or the suspect, and then again with the help of local law enforcement agency, a local police stations, a local crime branch, depend on the sensitivity of the case, and then law enforcement agency contacted the local police, local state police, and try to arrest the person and take the custody of that person. So this is the legal process of. So in this whole process, the vital role of IP address is undoubtedly coming in front of us. So this is the importance of IP address. Now, other thing, the information that may obtain from the ISP. What kind of information the law enforcement agency or we can get from the ISP? One is subscriber information. Then whosoever was connected got the internet connection, such as the registration, registered owner, then address of registered owner, and payment method also. Naturally, if the payment will be online or even the offline also, the financial credential, the bank details, and their account numbers will be also traced. Then transactional information such as connection times, date, and IP addresses used, means how many IP addresses the person was using, the subscriber or registered owner was using, the public IP or the private lease line connection, and on which date they got the connections, and the times of consuming using the internet. Because in every ISPs there is a log file available that so and so person is using internet till morning 6 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m. every day, or what kind of his or her schedule being online. This is also disclosed by the this information may also get from the internet service provider server log. Then content such as email, what kind of email the person was sent it to various parties, and what kind of data files he shared with the other persons. The stored program also, this will also because if you are sending something, so your ISP knows that to whom you are sending. And if you are getting some information, so naturally through your ISP you are getting through your native computer. So there will be a log file in the ISP server, that what kind of stuff you are using, what kind of uh, data, what kind of literature you are watching. This will be also logged in their server record. That is something called server log. Then ISP account information, then email address information, then IP address information, then web page information, the domain name information, and then point of presence information. So there are many things, because I told you yesterday also, in the cyber security and then cyber investigation process or forensic process, the law enforcement agency and all the investigating agency are much dependent on the intermediaries. Intermediaries are, means the ISPs, service providers, because all information is keeping with them. So we issue a notice to them, and they definitely cooperate with the law enforcement agency and give the information as and when needed. Now, so where are the evidences are? The question is, the once we get the information can be found in the numerous location, various location. First is the user's computer, then ISP for the user. If I am using any ISP, in case of mine, suppose if I am using Geo router, so naturally the Reliance Geo router, so the Geo internet connection is there. So on their server log, my information will be there, the what kind of stuff I am watching, what kind of files I am downloading, what kind of files or stuff I am uploading on the web portals. Then ISP for a victim or suspect, log file contents on the victims or suspects. So what kind of log file in the native computers and what kind of stuff included this. There are devices also which can keep the information, like routers, firewalls. Firewall knows that if suppose if in your corporation, in your corporate organization, you are using the firewall. So firewall knows that, because firewall, what you have to create the different users with the different ID passwords. So firewall keep a record of each and every user's profile, means each and every user, what kind of stuff they are watching, what kind of stuff they are downloading, what kind of stuff they are surfing. So firewall knows each and everything. So one who is managing this firewall, that is something called system administrator or network administrator, or maybe in few corporate cases it may be done by the EDP in charge, that is electronic data processing in charge. So they know very well that what kind of stuff. So because they are managing and maintaining that firewall, even if any suspected uh, incidents or activity, if they are found, so firewall easily detect that this is the violation of the firewall, and somebody try to encounter this and this application. So firewall protect the local area network and the organizational network through this worldwide network, but simultaneously keep a record on all the encounters. Then email servers. So if your company is configured the mail server, then and there in their own premises. So they may also get what kind of emails you are sending to someone, what, no matter if you are using your with your login ID and password, but they know that because so and so ID, because they know though they recognize you, identify you with your IDs. So that is why all the companies which are using, even they are using the ERPs or SAP, so they are creating their own employees email IDs also, to make sure that what kind of stuff, to get a supervision on the employees activity, what kind of stuff they are receiving through email, what kind of stuff they are sending, because whether they are sending us some business secrets to their rival companies or something. So they are only permitting you to drop or get the email from your official ID, on your official ID, and you can only send the email through this official ID. Your personal ID will be blocked with that email server. Only their recognizer, their private IDs which they have created for you, maybe enable in their own premises. At your home, you can use any other email address. So then other connected devices also get the information. So this is the whole loop, that one by one by one. This is something called reverse engineering. So if any incidents happen, so this is the, it depends on the incidents response team, what kind of incidents is there, and accordingly they will be proceeding, and they will be try to get an information. So of the sensitivity of the data depends on this. Now this is the remaining part of yesterday's lecture. That's why I yesterday told, because we just, now I am coming to the next topic, that is email analysis, something called, this is also interesting, the part of the connecting part of that. So investigation involving email. So the companies, or even that, now I inform you and share you the information, that what kind of tools you needed to get the information about the organization through a domain name or through the IP address. But now what kind of information you can get from an email also. This is also a very interesting part, and then everybody must know, especially in today's era, we are getting a ample amount of emails from various stakeholders, from the parents, from the in institutions, from the clients, from the vendors, from the service providers, from our local customers, clients, working professionals. So sometimes we got confused that which email is the genuine one and which is not. So this session will help you out in this department. So what is an email? We can know that email is simply mail, this time uh, in the digital form, like we have that earlier we have postcard and other stuff, we are just sending and receiving memo and then official letters and attachments and enclosures. Now we are getting through all this stuff through email in the soft copy. How email works: the moment an email sent a message is routed from the server to server via simple mail transfer protocol. So the moment you send to email to someone, it is first go to their your sending server to the receiving server. The protocol which is using in this is something called SMTP. SMTP is the short form of simple mail transfer protocol. So before that, you have to discuss and you have to understand what is protocol. Protocol is the set of rules. See, one society, that is something called W3C. W3 means www, that is World Wide Web, and C is stand for consortium. So W3C is standardized few rules, few regulations, so few code of conduct. Meanwhile, we are going online in the internet. So this group of rules or the bunch of rules is usually knowing as a TCP that is transmission control protocol slash IP, that is internet protocol. But TCP/IP is not a one protocol; it's a group of protocols. Group of protocols means for different things you can have. I can get the information, so you will get my point very easily. Otherwise, it will be only a theoretical explanation to you. That is why this group of protocol we usually recognize as a TCP/IP protocol suite. Suite means a bunch, a group. So which consisting of, sorry, this consists of the various protocol. Not only one protocol, there are various protocols. So there are few protocols and application protocols which is coming under the TCP/IP. That is, one is SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. One is FTP, File Transfer Protocol. One is HTTP, that is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. DNS, Domain Name Server. That is SNMP, that Telnet, and few more are there. The POP3 is also there. That is Post Office Protocol 3. So POP protocol is used to keep your email stored in the local hard drive, the local. So usually nowadays we people are using the Outlook. If you are aware of that, what is Outlook? So you can store your email on your hard disk, and as and when you get time, you can read these emails and then make a reply to that, and you can send reply to the in the bulk also. Simple mail transfer protocol, especially when you are just sending and receiving mail from one person, you are automatically redirect to the simple mail transfer protocol. If you are downloading or sending a file to someone, you are automatically redirected to the file transfer protocol. Means you are using this kind of protocols, but you may are not, you and me are not aware of that we are using the technology. So we may be transfer shifted to the FTP, file transfer protocol. If we are using internet, so one thing you observe that you just type www.google.com, but automatically before your website that one protocol automatically came out, that is something called HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, as a suffix of each website. So if we are going to online through internet, so automatically we will be shifted to the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So this is also a group of TCP protocol. Then user datagram protocol is also there. There is something called UDP. So different protocol has a different work and different things to do. Now we are discussing on the email. So for that we have a simple mail transfer protocol. So once we are sending email to someone, it is message is going from one server to another server. The protocol is used, the rules which we are using to send that email is the rules, the set of rules is known as simple mail transfer protocol, that is SMTP. Then the SMTP needs a computer friendly IP address to locate and deliver the message to the recipients. So naturally, if you wish to send to a email address to someone, yesterday I have already discussed one case study of President of India's got the threatening email, how we got this IP address, because that mail consisting of the IP address of the sender's PC and sender's ISP and sender's MAC address, that is the machine media access control address, that is the printed on the motherboard. of particular computer through which they have sent this email, whether it is a laptop or desktop. So the SMTP needs a computer friendly IP address. So that is why if you are sending even email also, you are using the IP addresses. Even your email is comprises with one IP addresses. We can take the how email works. There are two persons. One is Bob's laptop. One is Mary Mac computers, Apple Macintosh. So if he wish to send a message or email to the Mary, first his mail go to the his ISP server, that is email server, Bob's email server, and then it is again go to the DNS to take the IP address of the receivers, because mail has also determined that what is the destination IP address, that which will decide that on which IP address, on which mail this mail will be supposed to drop. And then it is traveled through SMTP, simple mail transfer protocol, again go to the Mary's email server, that is Mary's internet service provider, and then through his through her internet service provider, Mary got the email. And even if suppose if Mary is using that POP3, means post office 3 protocol, means all the email are stored on Mary's PC, and then if it's wish of the Mary, whether she will be free, she will see all those emails. So this is the simple working process of any email. If you are sending to someone, first it goes to your ISP server. So if suppose this fellow also delete what kind of stuff he has sent, and this fellow is also deleted what kind of stuff she got or she received on her email, but both the server have the copy of your email, what the Bob sent and what the Mary received. So law enforcement agency, because in law enforcement agency, after the committing a crime, this the offender will be also gone underground. Sometime we only got the victim come to the police, and then through reverse engineering, police did the reverse engineering, that from victim's PC to victim's ISP to suspect ISP, and through suspect ISP they got the IP address of suspect PC, and then they got the suspect. So that is something called reverse engineering, means चोर किस रास्ते से आया होगा उसी रास्ते से पुलिस जाती, क्योंकि वो तो घटना करने के बाद भाग जाता है, इसको बोलना चाहिए कि भूमिगत हो जाता है. So this is the usual process. Now, how come we know that, and how come we can find out by our own that whether that receiving email is authentic one or not? So the basic component of an email is subject. Subject is description of the topic message. We know that the senders kahan se aaya hai, where is it is coming from. This is the sender's internet email address, date and time, reply to, recipient to, and recipient email address and attachment. This is the component usually any email has. Now, the email related investigation. So first thing is email header analysis. Another way is email tracking. Then Google related investigation and Yahoo Mail related investigation. But in our stipulated time of this, we can only discuss the email header analysis. So what is email header analysis? Now, email related crime. Email has the fast emerged as the world's most preferred form of the communication. Billions of email messages travels the globe daily. Like any other form of the communication, email is also misused by the criminal elements, and ease, speed and relative anonymity of the email has made it powerful tool for criminals. But they just forget that, because yesterday I already disclosed you and then told about that the case study of that threatening email received by the President of India's official email. But they criminal just forget about that each and every email has the IP address of the sender's IP address of the sender's ISP, and even the MAC address of the sender's PC, and even the device IP also, if they are using routers or switches, so that IP will be also diagnosed and comprises with that email. And all with this information is known as email header in technical terms. Now, some major email related crimes are email spoofing. We know that spoofing techniques, sending malicious codes through email, that comprises with emails, malwares, email bombing, sending a threatening emails. Yesterday we already discussed that. Defamatory emails and email frauds. So the email tracking and email tracing, they are two different things. Tracking is what? Email tracking is a method to analyze the given mail for multiple purpose, like source IP, whosoever sended this, with the date and time and with the zone. Then intermediate email servers, their email servers information, that tracing is performed when the full header of an email is available. Now, email tracking is that it was issued to monitor the email delivery details for the recipient. It is basically get the information of IP address, date, time, location, probably, and of the email which was opened or received. And email tracking is useful when the email sender wants to know whether the email is actually delivered to the intended recipient. She has opened it. If opened, what is the exact date, time, and what is the IP address of that machine on which that email was opened. So this is different thing, email tracking. Now we are only discussing with the email tracing, how we will trace the email. Coming to the point, email headers, which comprises all the information, means sender's IP address, sender's ISP IP address, sender's email message ID on the server which the email was generated. So email headers are used to deliver message over the internet and contain a record of a specific route taken by the email. यानी आप ये समझ सकते हो हिंदी में अगर मैं बोलूं तो कि वह ईमेल किस रास्ते से गुजर के गया है, उस रास्ते में जो जो डिवाइस पड़े उनके आईपी एड्रेसेस, और वो जिस सेंडर को रिसीव हुआ है वहां तक आते आते जितने भी बीच में जो डिवाइसेस पड़े उनकी इंफॉर्मेशन उसमें होती है ईमेल की, उसके थ्रू हम ईमेल को ट्रेस करते हैं। जैसा मैंने कल एक केस स्टडी में बताया था कि कैसे सबसे पहले हमको इंटरनेट रजिस्ट्री, रीजनल रजिस्ट्री से हम लोगों को पता लगा कि वो कहाँ से जनरेटेड हुआ, उसके बाद फिर किस जो हमारा सेंट्रल इंडिया का जो बेंगलुरु सर्वर है वो वहाँ का आईपी ट्रेस हुआ, फिर सेंट्रल इंडिया का हुआ, इंदौर बीएसएनएल का ऑफिस हुआ, उसके बाद फिर जो साइबर कैफे था उसका आईपी ट्रेस हुआ। तो दिस इज द वे, जिस रास्ते से होकर वो पहुंचा है ईमेल, जिस डेस्टिनेशन तक पहुंचा है, ये पूरी इंफॉर्मेशन हेडर में होती है, और वो हेडर की इंफॉर्मेशन पूरी उस डेस्टिनेशन तक पहुंचती है, उसके बाद ही वो रिसीव होता है, क्योंकि वो निकलने के पहले ही उसको ये इंफॉर्मेशन लेकर वो निकला है। जैसे हम कोई पार्सल यहाँ से निकालते हैं थ्रू एनी करियर, कोई हम किसी कुरियर के थ्रू करते हैं या कहीं से, तो वो दोनों इंफॉर्मेशन लिखता है, डेस्टिनेशन इंफॉर्मेशन तो लिखता ही है, लेकिन वो सेंडर कौन है, उसका मोबाइल नंबर क्या है, उसका एड्रेस क्या है, उसका पिन नंबर क्या है, उसका नाम क्या है, क्यों करता है ऐसा कोई भी व्यक्ति, कुरियर वाला, ताकि अगर वो सेंडर के वहां पर ये रिसीव ना हो तो वापस बाय बैक आप तक आ सके। तो सेम केस विद द ईमेल ऑल्सो, जब ईमेल जनरेट होती है तो उसमें डेस्टिनेशन का आईपी एड्रेस भी होता है और कौन भेज रहा उसका भी होता है। द ब्रीफ हेडर डिस्प्ले लिमिटेड इंफॉर्मेशन लाइक सेंडर्स ईमेल एड्रेस, डेट एंड टाइम। जो ब्रीफ हेडर होता है वो सिर्फ ये दो चीज बताता है, लेकिन द फुल हेडर डिस्प्ले ऑल द इंफॉर्मेशन रिलेटेड टू द जर्नी ऑफ द मैसेज फ्रॉम सेंडर्स कंप्यूटर टू रेसिपिएंट्स कंप्यूटर। भेजने वाले के कंप्यूटर से लेकर प्राप्त करने वाले के कंप्यूटर तक की जितनी यात्रा है, जितनी डिवाइसेस से वो गुजर के निकला है ईमेल, वो पूरी इंफॉर्मेशन फुल हेडर में होती है। इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम ईमेल हेडर, द इंफॉर्मेशन नीडेड फ्रॉम ए ईमेल हेडर आइडेंटिफाई द सेंडर्स कैन बी ब्रोकन इनटू 3 पार्ट्स, 3 ब्लॉक्स। तीन भाग होते हैं। एक तो होता है सेंडर्स ईमेल एड्रेस, अनदर इज इंटरनेट राउटिंग इंफॉर्मेशन, कि सेंडर्स का आईपी एड्रेस आएगा उसमें, दैट ईमेल सर्वर इंफॉर्मेशन, जिस ईमेल सर्वर से वो ईमेल जनरेट हुआ है उसका आईपी एड्रेस, जिसको हम मैसेज आईडी बोलते हैं। तो ये आपके और हमारे समझने के लिए थोड़ा टेक्निकल है, लेकिन लॉ एन्फोर्समेंट एजेंसी के लिए वेरी वाइटल, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। इसके थ्रू ही हम, क्योंकि वंस वी गॉट द ईमेल सर्वर, तो फिर वो सर्वर से हम उसका सेंडर्स का आईपी भी निकाल लेते हैं और सेंडर के आईपी से फिर उसकी डिटेल भी निकाल लेते हैं। नाउ, one of the most important piece of the information of investigator to obtain from the detailed header is the originating IP address, finding the full header of the receiving email। अब इसकी क्या प्रोसेस है कि हम किसी भी ईमेल को अगर हम देखना चाहते हैं कि इसकी इंफॉर्मेशन क्या है, तो हम कैसे देख सकते हैं ईमेल हेडर को। हम उस पर थोड़ा सा डिस्कस करते हैं, वी विल ड्रॉ अ लाइट ऑन दैट। तो सबसे पहले तो आप अपने जीमेल पे लॉगिन करिए। एग्जाम्पल के लिए मैं अपना जीमेल लॉगिन करता हूँ और आपको, एम आई ऑडिबल टू ऑल ऑफ यू?
Yes, sir.
And my screen is also visible, I hope.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So I am just accessing my Gmail ID, then we will proceed immediately. सपोज मेरे पास ये कोई ईमेल एड्रेस
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
I do not know what happened, but and thank you that you called me up. Otherwise, I told you, and on my screen only the presentation PPT slide was visible. So I was speaking so on and on and on. So how long I'm not available with you people?
Sir, when you log into your Gmail, after that, suddenly you got disconnected.
अच्छा ठीक है Gmail तक हो गया था ना fine.
Yes.
So suppose I log in. Just a minute. I have to reshare my screen. I hope my screen is visible to you. My Gmail is visible to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So suppose if you are just you wish to make sure that or knowing that whosoever is sending you email, the genuine one or not. So suppose I got this much of email available. So मुझे suppose एक email आया है Quick Help company की तरफ से. This is the antivirus company. Suppose so many a time what will happen हमारे पास एक चीज होती है मैंने बताया था send to and होता है reply to. Many a time this option will be there. So हम reply to जैसे ही करते हैं यहाँ पर so यहाँ पर reply to में उस कंपनी का नाम अलग होता है जो हमको सेंडर एक्चुअल जो सेंडर होता है so many a time you have witnessed means if you got that phishing email that the mail was mentioned on the recipient or that senders will be different and when you click on the reply to you will be redirect to another because this is a genuine email so that is why it is not there but otherwise it will be showing you a different email address. So how come we can identify those things? So we have to analyze or analysis the mail header from where we can get. Suppose this is the email. I can take another mail of someone. Suppose I got this message. So I wish to know that whosoever is sending me. So I have to click on this three dot available on my Gmail and go to the fourth last option that is show original. And when I click show original, this screen heading by the text original message will be displayed. Is it visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
This screen or this whole screen or this port area is known as full header, which comprises all the vital information related to that email. So first information is something called message ID. What is this message ID? This is the message ID of the server through which that email generated. So if law enforcement agency just हेलो मैं अभी मीटिंग में हूँ अर्पित लगाता हूँ ऑनलाइन मीटिंग हाँ so this am I audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So this email ID, this message ID is the message ID of that server's message. Once you have sending the email to someone, it is sending through your ISP server. So this is the message ID of that server. So if you got the suspected email and you report it, so naturally that law enforcement agency asks to the Gmail. So Gmail usually asks that please send me the message ID of that header because they may search through this message ID of the content, the original. This message ID will also give you the IP address of the sender's ISP. And then once we get the IP address of sender's ISP, naturally through sender's ISP, we can get the IP address of the sender's local machine. And we can track the local machine where it is situated from where that email was shoot or was pushed. So this is the vital play. This message ID is play a vital role. This is the हमने अभी हमारे presentation में देखा ही था The full header display all the information related to the journey of the message from sender's computer to the recipient's computer. So, and this is also tracked by the law enforcement agency. Now, another thing is that the date, that is Tuesday, 3rd September 2014, 6:49 p.m. Suppose this email is I am receiving from India itself, local. But suppose if I am getting this email from European country, so this timing will be differ. So this timing will be coming not with the Indian Standard Time. It is coming with the Universal Coordinated Time, something called UTC. So I have to convert it UTC to. So there are website available. UTC to IST converter, UTC to IST converter. So what actually it does? You people aware of that? Whenever you are just trying to set the date and time of your computer, suppose I am clicking here and change date and time, go here, date and time, change date and time. So many a time it comes that is GMT 5:30. Have you seen this GMT 5:30 to set the time for all the on an average time of all the metro cities here in India? So what is this 5:30? Have you ever think about that? What is this? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes.
So this GMT is nothing. This is the converted gap between the UST to IST. Suppose if I am putting any time here. So I have to mention the UST time. Suppose this email I got from US. So what is the time? 6 p.m. at US. So I copied here, paste UTC time here. And it will convert me to the IST time. So this is UTC. So the mail generated at US by 6:49 p.m. But I got in Indian time 12:19 a.m. in the night. How it is possible? Because this GMT 5:30 is there is a difference between Universal Coordinated Time and an Indian Standard Time. This is a difference of 5 hours 30 minutes. That is why 5:30 GMT is always showing when we are just trying to set time to Indian coordinates. So 5, if I got email from any other European country, US or UK or any other country, so I have to convert this time also because this message ID is generated the time when the email created by the senders. He may be sending this email anywhere from the world. But in that case, because this email is a local email from India itself, that is why the time is same. But if it is generated by the other country or other region, then I have to convert this time to GMT 5:30. That is, so I have to add 5.5 hours to the current time. Then I'll get the Indian Standard Time. So time is also important because we are just reporting this crime here in India and we are making the complaint number with the FIR. So we have to mention the Indian Standard Time in the FIR. Doesn't matter at what time they sended you the email, but you have to convert into Indian Standard Time. At the same time, if you are requesting to the law enforcement agency of other country, you have to convert this time to Indian Standard to Universal Coordinate Time. So you can't say that I got this email by 6:49 p.m. You have to reduce 5 or 30 minutes with this time, and then the time you got that you have to get, you have to send to the convert it to a Universal Coordinated Time. And then suppose I am just copying this, and now converting it to a UTC. So I have to copy here. Automatically by 1 a.m., 1:19 a.m., it will be converted into UTC. So I have to give to the another country's law enforcement agency with their own actual time, because they have to file a complaint accordingly. So this message information is important. The message ID, and that is message ID is the server ID basically of that particular email, and then date and time from the person who has sent me, his name, his whole address of that particular email through which they are created, sender's receiver's name. Then one thing is that meeting number, that subject, and here also you can get the IP address of that email. So this was I was discussing yesterday, that don't be surprised if you will get IP address like this. So this is the IP address. So this is IP address version 6, which allows us to use hexadecimal values. So what is this? 2A01 colon 111 colon F400 colon FEAE. So I told you that A is what? 11, because 1 to 9, 0 to 9, the same in the hexadecimal, and from 10 it is A, B, C, D, E, and E is 15, E is 14, F is 15, colon 0.0.0 colon 730. So this is the IP address of a hexadecimal value. That is something called SPF. And another thing is that DKIM, the domain name of particular, through which domain means. So it is mentioned here that skvmmumbai.oam.microsoft.com. On Microsoft.com means Outlook Express. So if the sender is fake, so this DKIM will be differ from the sender's email ID. So this email ID will be different, and this will be different. So you can easily identify this. There is a difference between this email and this email, means it was showing you this name, but it was actually generated by this name. So there is a difference between generator and the message or that email ID is showing on your receiver's end. So this is the header information which will play a vital role, especially in the case of any kind of cyber information investigation. But this email ID is also, this IP address is not the genuine IP address. This is also mask IP address. We have discussed masking. So Google itself is masking this, because if Google will show the actual email address of the sender, anyone can idea about that who is sending. So what about the privacy? Suppose if I am opening your PC and see all your emails and open this message box. So I just go to your email, open this, suppose open this from Vikas Khare or any other person, Kiran Kumar Patil or Param Rawal or any other person, or Madhulika or Nidhi, and open this and then go to the three dots, go to the show original and got the IP address. So this is not the way to get the thing. So that is why Google is also masking the IP address. So this is not the actual IP address of the sender, but the law enforcement agency, when as and when they requested the Google to give the actual appropriate or right IP address. So they will hide and they will just remove that mask and give the actual IP address of that culprit's the sender's email, and then accordingly they will get the IP detail record, that is IPDR, and through IPDR we will get the ISP detail, and through ISP we will get the uh, other details and which computer on which internet they are using to use this uh, create this email address yesterday. And that is why yesterday case I have disclosed with you that how come the law enforcement agency know about that, when that email generated, from where it is generated, what time it was pushed from that sender's ID. So this is there, the date and time, each one of detail will be available. So now you got the information about how we will go about that. So there are finding ISP. Yesterday we also already discussed. Once we got the IP address of that sender's IP, then we will find the ISP. So there are websites available through which we can, for Asian, www.apnic.net will be the website through which we can find the source IP address of the ISP. Then time stamping, I already discussed you that you have to convert to UTC to IST. So then GMT 5:30 hours, India has adopted IST, Indian Standard Time, that is GMT plus 5:30 hours. So we have to convert it, go to the site. So website is also available, through we can convert this, or directly we can add 5 hours 30 minutes to the available time which is showing on the sender's IP, sender's email, and then it will automatically convert. If this email is uh, routed through European countries or African countries or any abroad out of India, then we have to convert this. Not only out of India, out of Asia Pacific. Then obtaining the physical IP address after the making sure that IP address and the time zone is correct. Naturally, the legal process is we have to issue a notice under the 91 CRPC, describe the authority to investigate officers to issue a notice to an organization to give the information. Then forensic examination, the forensic investigation of a computer system might reveal the additional information, such as once we get the culprit system, then we will get the other information, that other email messages related to investigation, other email addresses, that senders informations, the content of the communications, IP addresses, the date and time information, the user information, attachments, passwords, application logs, and that shows the evidence of spoofing. Because if somebody is using that, I told you, the crazy.com or crazycall.com or bluffmycall.com, these are the most common used spoofing software, online spoofing software, which is freeware on the internet. So if we get the information related to application logs, means go to the registry, then we can easily find out that someone's used that this kind of applications installed in their native computer. So this will also considered as a digital evidence of spoofing. Then there will be offense against them. Then forensic examination, that is also I discussed. So I hope the things which I have discussed you will be fruitful for you to make a common understanding about the uh, IP addresses, importance of IP addresses, importance of DNS, importance of email, and the email headers, and investigation of email header, analysis of email header. So I try my level best to give you some technical information also with a very light mode, so you can get the easily idea about that how that investigation process usually proceed accordingly and going on, and how and what the law enforcement agency is dependent on the different intermediaries, and what is their role, what is the role of ISP, what is the role of telecommunication service provider, what is the role of the any other financial institutions like bank or any other financial institutions role as far as the cyber investigation is concerned. So this is from my side. If you have any doubt, you can ask any question. किसी को भी डाउट है तो पूछ सकते हैं.
Sir, actually, yesterday there was no electricity at my in my area, so I couldn't attend the lecture. So can I get any notes or recording regarding lecture?
Yes, ma'am. You will get all the recordings. After the completion of this, you will get each and every day's recording. That is why we are recording. We will provide you the link.
Okay,
So
sir.
you can watch again and again, and then you can make your own notes and you can make your common understanding accordingly. But this is the sole purpose of record this meeting. Otherwise, for me or for the Research Foundation of India, we have usually every 6 months we used to have this kind of thing. So we are recording for you people, for your future reference.
Okay, sir. और सर मैं लड़का हूँ.
Any other, or shall we disperse? हम वाइंड अप करें इसको मीटिंग को. I hope there will be no questions. So thank you so much for patiently listening to me. And we will meet tomorrow with the new topic, and then we will discuss few more things related to this cyber security and capacity building for this. So with these words, I would like to conclude my session. Hope you are understanding, and please be there. And I'll also try to come on time. Thank you so very much. Dhanyawad. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir.